What is up, everyone? Back to work on the 1.8T Swapped E36. If you guys aren't sold on this thing yet, then, well, you need to wake up because this thing's super freaking cool. In the last video with this thing you guys saw, we got a bunch done. We got the turbo on, the manifold, the wastegate, all the plumbing, intercooler read. We got a lot done in one video. That was definitely a two-parter in one. I keep looking at this thing. I think it looks so freaking sick, and we're still very, very under budget with this thing. So far, we've still been able to keep this thing super cheap, which is our goal here. Today, we're gonna be tackling another major hurdle of the process, probably one of the most dreaded things for us. We could just exclude wiring from that. But I would say this has probably been the thing we've been most stressed about when it comes to actually getting this thing to fit in this car, because everything else has fit really organically in here, but this is one thing, the cooling system. And I know that might not sound exciting or weird, but here's the problem. We are taking a front wheel drive engine and cramming it in a rear wheel drive car, so these engines weren't designed to fit optimally in rear wheel drive. Now the 1.8T, you could argue, yes, it came in a rear wheel drive format with the Audis and the Passats, but those chassis were, well, also designed around the engines. But the big thing is, what was once the side of the motor is now the back of the motor, which means we have to fit whatever is there, which used to have all this room, whatever way the engine sits, and now we're cramming against a firewall, and things can get tight. Some engines have cam-angle sensors, distributors, coil pack mounts. So a lot of these front wheel drive engines make it a little bit tricky. But for us, the big thing is the upper water neck was once on the side of the head. Now it's on the back of the head. And we don't have much room around here. So this part might be a little tricky because we need to get coolant from there to here. So you can see how front wheel drive this looks. See how the head overhangs the rear like a couple inches? Like you wouldn't see that on a rear wheel drive engine. It would just be flush right with the transmission. So the water, can you see my two fingers right here? Yeah. This is where the water outlet is. So I think we're getting lucky because it sits a lot lower than it did prior when we had the engine sitting straight up. So what's so funny, Jordy?
You see my two fingers right here?
Shut the fuck up. So we actually, dude, look at Jordy. We got rid of the heat shield stuff. Look how much room we have now. This is actually really nice.
Whoa.
It sits right below this like ledge, which is huge because we thought we were gonna have to cut all this out.
That's sick. 1 inch goes a long way.
I'm saying, life changing. So let's talk about what's supposed to be in the back of the head. So right here is the factory water outlet, right? We have, this is our upper radiator hose. This goes to our heater line. This tees into somewhere where we gotta figure all that out. But that's not a big deal right now. Our big deal right now is trying to get this thing to the radiator. Obviously, I mean, this protrudes back a lot. That's like what, 8 inches?
Too much.
Too much. This thing's plastic OEM, which means we really can't modify it unless you're just trying to use like some panel bond and crossing your fingers, but we're not doing that around here. So good thing about this swap is everything for it is super cheap. So you can go online and get yourself a nice water outlet that's aluminum. Good old 12 bucks on eBay or something like that. And since this is now aluminum, we can modify this. But if you look at it, it still sits out really far. It's kind of intrusive, it's kind of ugly. And so you could step up to something that fits a little bit tighter and get this water outlet. So this is off of
B5 Passat, B5 A4.
That's what it was. Didn't we order? I thought we ordered a 2-liter one. Whatever. So this is the all-wheel drive version, which obviously now this is supposed to sit between the head and the firewall, and so they made it thinner. Makes a lot of sense. Cute and petite, right? They give yourself some more room. So this sits on the back of the head like this, and then there's a hard pipe that bolts here, and it goes over the intake, and then the outlet's here, and it's really easy. And it seems like a really good idea. But we're gonna do things a little bit differently. So to give ourselves some more room, we took one of these, and well, we modified it. Check it out. Boom! What we did was we then converted this to a barb style, right? We got rid of the factory coolant temp sensor. We got rid of the factory quick disconnect for one of the heater hose lines. This will make this uber sleek behind the head. So now we have a foundation to build off of to hopefully give us room behind the head and give us an upper water neck. And then these other two things that we need here, we will add in later. So our first step is getting this bolted up and building off of this as a foundation. So we're gonna start with this, but if you look at this compared to the OEM piece, this should make our life a lot easier. We got to get this thing onto the back of the head, which is currently the hardest part. Let's hook the engine crane up to get a water neck on. I don't know, Jordy. It
would be really cool if It didn't go right on.
It's close. Dude, tilting the engine saved our ass. I thought it was gonna make things harder. It saved us.
Factory, they sit at a 15-degree tilt.
Yeah, this tilt saved us because it puts the water neck like right in this groove. Oh my God, we got so lucky. We were so stressed about this, Jordy. Look, it sits in that groove so nice.
Wow, that's actually looks kind of sick too.
It looks sick. All right, we gotta. Okay, if we massage the firewall just a little bit.
Whittle.
I
Whittle 20.
I think we could slip this thing on without pulling the engine out. All right, pry bar. We were so stressed about this. This is a huge win. A whittle massage. Just push that back just a little bit. I wouldn't do anything Jordy wouldn't do.
I definitely would have done that too.
We could trim down that stud when we take the engine out and it'll make life a lot easier. It doesn't need to be that long.
Yeah.
Could you replace the studs with shorter studs?
Or we could put bolts in it too.
Yeah.
Definitely the studs are way too long. If I slip, I'm punching myself in the face. Almost there. It's fine. Everything's fine. Up and down, side to side. Once it pops in, it'll like, I think we're good. Yeah. She popped in. Yeah, it fits. Yeah. It's on. Yeah.
No way.
Look at that. And we didn't really move your firewall at all. It kind of just like popped back in.
It's factory fresh.
Dude, I think that actually fits.
That's sick.
Oh my God. That is.
We'll put a nice
That's huge news.
clamp right there.
Yeah, it fits, dude. Look at.
That's so sick.
Oh my God. I couldn't be happier. We were.
That's so sick.
It just keeps making more sense. We need to buy more of these things. Dude, my whole marketplace is just 1.8Ts now from looking at them.
That's all it is. Part out cars and engines.
$100 to $300 still.
Mm-hmm.
This is sick. Well, now we have an upper water deck and we actually kind of have room to slip a pipe on here, which is sick, but we're not gonna do it like that. We're gonna set ourselves up for the future a little bit better so it's easier to work on and easier to maintain. But before we do that, we're gonna move on to another big win real quick because as you guys know, we got the 180 back from paint yesterday. If you didn't watch the video, go freaking watch it. Or this is spoiling it, but it's yellow.
It's incredible.
It's incredible. It looks so good. And of course, we have Alberto, the recall guy here, to put the glass in for us. Look at him, he's ready. Putting glass in like really solidifies the paint job to me. It really brings it together. And of course we got our boys here to get her done. Putting the glass in after a fresh paint job just hits so different. Like it really brings the car together. I hope you guys get to experience that one day, like a fresh paint job and the glass goes in for the first time. It's like this. Oh. I'll never get sick of it, ever. Safe light repair, safe light replace. Wow. That is the biggest diss I think for any glass guy.
I'm thankful for Safe Light because I know all I know thanks to them. But at the end, Safe Light.
You need a helping hand?
Yes, sir.
I'll show you how it's done.
From the cup, not just the cup. Forget about the glass.
Okay.
All right, let's go down.
No,
watch,
I
watch
don't
the
like
paint.
this is stressful.
Watch the paint. Let's do top corners. And you let it go.
I'm way off here, buddy.
That's fine. I fix it.
Okay.
Let's leave it.
I'm so good, man.
Come on, man. You just gotta push it out.
Yeah, I want to, I just want to make sure you know what you're doing.
That's so sick.
Right? It just is like brings it all together. Looks incredible. It officially looks like a car. It no longer just feels like a shell sitting here, which is huge. The transformation this car has had is unreal. Honestly, a fresh paint job will transform any car. But now it's time for us to get the aero painted, get all the small bits painted, and it'll slowly come together. And the most exciting part for me is the livery. A lot of guys don't like liveries. I love the way these things look with the livery on, so we'll get that on ASAP. And well, then we still got to test the car. We leave in what, 3 weeks?
Yeah.
So
Do you think we're gonna get to test it before final out? Are we going to take an untested car to find out again this year?
We'll do it again.
Yeah.
I'm not worried about it.
It's going to do good.
It'll be fine.
Yeah.
It's the same
I mean,
thing.
it's a carbon copy of the purple car.
It's very similar to the purple color, yeah, which means she should hit. But in the meantime, let's move back to Jordy's car because we got some work to do. All right, so we got our upper water neck now right here. And if we cared, I guess we could probably slip a hose on there, but we need to add a little bit more to it because not only do we want this to be easier to access, but there's two things we have to add to this upper pipe. We need a spot for the coolant temp sensor since we got rid of the factory location, and we need a spot to tie into to send the hot coolant to our heater hose lines because Jordy wants heat in this thing. You probably should.
You got to be complicated, don't you?
Dude, so high maintenance. So high maintenance.
Princess over here needs to.
We also need
Princess.
water lines to the turbo.
We do need that too.
Yeah.
Look at you thinking. All right, so we need to
Use our brains.
extend that.
Yeah.
We got to use our pipe. You know what I mean? Did someone say pipe?
Nice pipe,
You
man.
like that? Yeah.
Don't even try. Don't even try. Get that thing away from me.
Come on. All right, so we got this left over from the Pro Car. So we have aluminum tubing right here, and we found out that we can actually bend this pretty easily on the pipe bender, which is pretty sick. So I think if we make something kind of like how the K-Series swap kits come with, where it just kind of hooks around, we can put our outlet somewhere over here, which allows it to be accessible, and it gives us plenty of run to tie into. That all makes sense, right? Yeah. 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 No doubt. Let's bend up some pipe. Dun, 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 dun. Fry bar time.
I know I got a bigger pry bar, right?
Mr. Muscle, get your fingers in here. You got it.
Right there.
Come on, like a boy. Oh, my fingers.
My house prying like a boy.
Come on, get after it.
Every time he says he's about to lose a finger.
Get that out of there. I'm gonna die.
Go in, big dog.
Big one. The big hoss.
Hold it. Hold it. Pain in the ass. I cannot wait to hammer the firewall when the engine's up. All right, we're good. Let's glue them together.
So hard not to look.
All right, let's make sure it still fits. If we can get it back in. We'll do some massaging once the engine's out. It's not super far off. There's studs on the back of the head, and the studs are just OD long right now, so it's hard to get the piece around. Does that make sense?
Yeah.
Yeah,
So,
so
if
it's
you
like-
cut that stud shorter.
Yeah, for the stud, if we took
Slip on.
4 mils off the stud, this thing would fit right in, which is huge. Huge. Actually, oh.
Right on.
Yeah, if the studs were just. Oh. Oh. All right, so the angle got moved a little bit on the bench, which is fine. So let's just bend this thing in more to compensate for this gap, because we need room for this hose to actually fit. So we'll just bend it. Doing. All right, now about the underwear. All right, we're welded up. New position. Looks pretty cool. Let's see how she fits. I'm so hyped that we could access this without cutting the firewall. We were fully convinced we'd have to cut a square to the firewall, which is like really hurting me because I hate when like you have to make something intrusive to the chassis. So now we can get the hot coolant out of the head and we can get it to the rear, right? But we need to take some of this hot coolant and put it in other places. We have to add back in our little accessories. So we need a port for the heater hose line, which is going to connect to this on the BMW, which that should mount. Jordy, could you squeeze that back to OEM position for him?
No, because it's very difficult. Close enough.
Perfect. And we need to put a coolant temp sensor somewhere in here because we need the temperature of the coolant coming out of the head because it is super crucial for the ECU, especially for drift cars. So I got this little aluminum barb I just cut an angle into in like a slight radius. I want to point this thing towards the heater hose line. So it's probably somewhere over there. And that will kick it down and to the bottom of that. Just gotta make sure it doesn't get in the way of that line. So I gotta kick it back more. Kick it back, and this will go in front of it. So I think right there is the move. Definitely on the shorter end, but it should be just enough to get the hose on comfortably. You wanna mark that for me, Austin? Yeah. Before we weld that on, let's do a 2-for-1, and we gotta put a coolant temp sensor in here. So I don't really care to use this factory one. It's big, bulky, and old. Link sells their own coolant temp sensor. Right here, it's a nice little 1/8 inch NPT type of sensor. Some modern tech, nice and easy. Jordy, hold this. And we're gonna put standalone, so it doesn't really matter anyway. So if you're on a stock ECU, use the factory coolant temp sensor. But it comes with a little aluminum boss right there that will weld to the pipe. And that's all we gotta do. So we just gotta figure out a good place to put this. So this thing we just want somewhere accessible. That's it, and out of the way. Jordy, can you mop the intake on for me? So that's not intrusive at all, so we don't gotta worry about that. I was worried that would be intrusive. Cool. I might just put it right here. I'm cool with that. You cool with that, Jordy?
I'm cool with that, Jim.
All right, mark that for me. Just put a dot right there. Boom, perfect. Easy. Go. I think this is actually easier to get to than the M52, like.
Everything?
Yeah. Baby. Kind of looks cool. Looks a little OD, but it's cool. I'm pretty stoked on this thing. I think it looks pretty badass, doesn't it? So we have our upper water hose, we have a coolant temp sensor, we have a port for our heater hose lines, a nice dimple to hold it all together. And this actually fits on. Now that we massaged the firewall a little bit, it slips right on. So this is really free. I'm so pumped on this. This is super cool. So obviously there's simpler ways to do it. You don't gotta go so crazy with it. You could probably make the OEM water neck work, especially if you use the Passat one, which is like a bolt-on hard pipe. And a lot of guys do that, but we wanted to make it as easy for us as possible because we want to set Jordy up with a really awesome, easy to work on situation. Let's bolt this up and see how she fits in its final form. Now we got a line. Look, that actually flows really nicely. Do you see that on camera? That flows down really nice. Super stoked on that one. All right, so I wish we could just hook up an upper hose and move on, but we got some more things to do. So on the 1.8T block, there is this it? There's this heater pipe, right? This is the thickest plastic I've ever. So this comes out of the thermostat housing, right? So if you come over here, thermostat housing right here, which is gonna be our lower hose, right? Thermostat goes to lower hose. There's a port in the side right here. And then this will feed out to our, we'll say accessories. By accessories, I mean our heater hose line, factory, it feeds out to the turbo, and it goes to the expansion tank. Expansion tank stuff we'll talk about later on. But what we really need this for is we need to get coolant to our turbo, and we need to get coolant to our heater hose. So we need to redo this thing. So
reconfigure.
Yeah, this one's interesting. Is this one's different than the last one we had?
Well, it was the same one, and then when we took it off, you bent it in half.
It was rotted. So here's it's a press-in O-ring, so we kind of have to start with that. I mean, I might even just start completely from scratch then, because this thing, I think it sits like this, goes behind the head, or I guess it would be like this, right?
Yeah. Don't ask me, I have no idea.
Let's get an idea of what we need here. So for me, all I really want is to use this tube to get to our other hose on the heater hose line, because we have a cool coolant flow and then we'll have a hot coolant flow. Does that make sense? So the port coming out of the head is always the hot, the port coming out of the block or thermostat is always the cold. So we need a hot and a cold. And so we already have our hot in here, so now we need a cold. And then we got to put an AN somewhere on here so we could bring a coolant line to the turbo. Does that all make sense to you, Jordy?
For sure. Yeah.
How much do I want to cut this thing up?
Same but different.
No, it's different, Jordy. I told you, see? This one's nice because it has this mounting point on the block, which we need. That sucks that we don't have that because we're gonna have to make that now. Yeah, let's cut this thing up. Jordy, how much was this?
$22.
$22. I love this thing. This is the old hose from Jordy's M52. Cut that up. We got the angle from that. From the end of the hard pipe, we're gonna weld it. We'll just weld it right here. That'll give the cold coolant to the heater core. And then
this one to the turbo.
And then we'll use this, we'll weld it and fitting to this, and that can feed the turbo. We'll just go around the head. Now we need a tab on it so we make sure the pipe doesn't actually pop out. So tack it on there, take it off, fully weld it, and make it look pretty. Heater hose feed, mounting point. Now we need to convert this to a -6 so we can feed the turbo. Good thing I saved everything. How many times has this drawer saved our ass?
Countless.
Countless. I always have this like theory that as long as I look long enough, I'll find what I'm looking for.
It's somewhere in there.
S chassis power steering rack fitting, I think. It's steel. If this leaks, I take zero responsibility. You know what they say, it ain't much, but it's honest work. There we go, our $20 pipe. So we have heater hose, and then we have coolant feed for the turbo. A little
Pressure test.
doesn't leak. The cooling system gets to like, I don't know, upwards of like 20 PSI, so it could potentially leak, but we'll check it out. Little flapper and paint, makes me the welder I ain't, you know what they say? So we'll get this mocked up and we'll save like the painting for when we actually refresh everything. We're just mocking everything up. We're gonna take everything out and make it all look pretty very shortly. That way. That's cool. I'm hyped on that. That actually looks pretty sick. We're almost there. So let's connect some more pipes. So we're gonna start with the easy one, and that's the lower radiator hose. So we have our thermostat housing right here. Comes out the side. We have a plastic one. We have an upgraded aluminum one in the package. Another $12 thing, so we can get rid of this plastic here. But all we have to do is connect this hose right here to the lower radiator hose. Now here's the problem. BMW's, the lower radiator hose is on that side. So it's kind of far away. You know, if you're swapping your engine, you could find a radiator that fits your chassis but has the coolant ports on the correct side. That's huge, right? If we could find a radiator that has an inlet and outlet on this side, it would save us a lot because then that hose would be super short. But for us, we're going to use what we got to keep the cost down. So we have to figure out how to get it to cross over the front of the engine without getting in the way. What else do we got? Anything else look good in here? Damn, these got big outlets. Holy crap. Yeah, you got those. Can we take your OEM hoses? Can we cut them up?
I think I got extras.
You got extras, he said. That's crazy. That actually fits pretty good there. Sucks that we have to go around the accessories. If we can go, can we go through them? Would that be crazy?
I mean, we could.
Would that be crazy? How nice would that be if we could just go like right through here? That would look so nuts. If I saw someone have that, I'd be like, that's kind of a G move, but you look crazy.
Imagine having to bleed your coolant because you got to change your belt.
Oh, I didn't think about that. That's a bad idea. Funny though. Let's see if we could make some stuff work with this. So a lot of times what I've done is I've just walked into the parts store and just asked if I can go in the back, and you just kind of look at all the OEM hoses and see what you can kind of cut up to make work. Because really what we need here is we need a 90 right here. We could put a straight pipe in here, so I'm not worried about it. And then we need a 90 to 90. So So if you can find a hose that has, you know, a couple 90s in it that you can cut up and then put some straight pipe in like this, usually that's a cheat code. Like this, you can get at Home Depot. This is like for your sink. I think these are the hoses off the K-swapped S14.
Yeah.
Yeah, because look how long this thing is. All right, Jordy, let's see what we can make work. If this was rotated in, oh, yeah. Wrong way, pal.
Hang on, Jim.
Sir.
The new one that we have for the thermostat's also aluminum.
Ooh,
So we could make a hard pipe to here and then a normal hose.
Yeah, we can weld to it. That's
Yeah,
cool.
makes the most sense.
Yeah. Even if it puts us out to like here, like it'll make life a lot easier. Our thermostat housing will just be dumb long, which is, I don't see a downfall to it. Yeah, just a 90 I think should be good. Now with the old, with the new.
Is that what you were thinking of?
100%. That was spot on.
I don't know how I feel about having such a long thermostat housing tubing, but like it is whatever.
What's the difference?
Fair enough. If it sucks, if we just put a soft hose there, so whatever.
It's either that or soft hose.
Yeah, this thing we kind of have to, but like whatever. Why not? We'll give it a shot. Let's try something new.
Not too bad.
We're gonna make a little support bracket here, so we don't gotta really worry about all that stress being on there. Rib on the edge there, and a little support bracket there. You know what I mean? You see what I'm talking about? Right, let's glue this little mounting bracket on and we should be good to go. So Volkswagen said, we're not gonna give you no forward-facing coolant pipes, and we said, psych. I'm sorry, it's been a long day. No, I like this is cool. I'll take it.
This is sick.
That actually looks really sick. I mean, we are going a little much with it, right? Don't let this make you feel intimidated. There is obviously way simpler ways to do it. We could have just ran a straight hose with a bend in it. It's fine. You'll be fine. But we have the resources and we want to, you know, it's fun. It's cool, right? You having a good time?
Great time, Jim. Couldn't have a better
You having a good time, Kai?
Awesome time.
Yeah, no one asked you. So, now let's connect those. YouTube magic. Went to the bar store, did the little advanced auto shuffle, and we found two hoses that work out perfectly. Look at this. Look how sick this is. Even has that nice little kick down, get out of the way. Nice and straight with the car. Boom! That's a good looking hose.
You know a good hose when you see one.
Oh, do you, Jordy? Kai, come here. Would you like to hear that? No, I'm kidding. So our lower hose is now on. I'm stoked with that. Jordy, you happy with that?
I think it looks great.
That's all that matters.
Yep, looks amazing.
That is all hooked up. We have our little accessories in the back. We have our lower hose hooked up, and now the last piece of the puzzle is getting our hot coolant from the head, right here, our main port back here, to the radiator. But of course, it can't just be that simple. We just can't put the hose on and call it a day because there is no spot to actually fill up the coolant. Sometimes it's in the radiator, sometimes there's expansion tank, sometimes it's on the engine. In our case, it's a BMW and it's a Volkswagen engine, and guess what? They both use expansion tanks, but guess what Jordy does not want to use because he thinks it looks ugly?
An expansion tank.
Gotta be complicated.
They work
again.
They work so well.
Princess gotta have heat, and he's gotta have no expansion tank.
I'm a man that knows what he likes.
He stands his ground. So we're gonna split the difference, and well, we need some type of fill. We need, it would be nice to have some type of expansion there so it's easier to help the system bleed out. And so what we're gonna do is we're gonna use basically the same concept that we've been doing on a couple cars now, and that is actually make a little expansion swirl pot here. So you guys have seen Spoon graft up these before, makes it from scratch, start with intercooler piping and cap it off, cut it off an old radiator and put some inlets and outlets. So what this does is this will allow the coolant to come in, swirl, and then come out. So it is a swirl pot and an expansion tank, kind of 2 for 1, and we'll remote mount it off to the side, which is cool. Bri, why do you like this? What's so good about the Swirl Pot?
Don't drink that.
Don't drink that. I've been using that to cool off things. Yeah, don't ask.
What do I like about this Swirl
Well, no,
Pot?
like why are they so good?
It definitely like the water pump can knock all that water around and aerate it, and this kind of helps get all the air out of the water and
Venturi
prevents
effect.
the steam, and
There we go.
it allows it to flow through. It'll help you prevent hot spots, so it'll keep cooler for a little bit longer.
There you go. And it gives us the spot to actually fill and bleed our coolant, a little area for expansion, and we're good to go. So it's a 2-for-1. This thing, we figured, wow, this is a 4-cylinder with all this room in the bay. And guess what? It's all gone. All of that room is gone. So right here is where we're gonna shove this thing. And so what we'll do is we'll come engine up, allow this to swirl down, and then go to the radiator right here. Does that make sense? We don't have much room left for things. It went quick, didn't it?
Dude, what the heck? There's still a lot of room here. Which is
Yeah,
cool,
that's all
but
we got.
What are you gonna do with that for? This is so cool.
A lot of people are like, they can't get why we would pick this over like a VR6 or something,
oh, dude, 1.18 never lose, but VR6 is the best. I'm not gonna lie.
but it's a different narrative. It's a different want. It's a different package. It's a whole different experience.
Those people haven't drifted 4-cylinder turbo cars. You do that and then talk. Like, drifting 4-cylinder turbo cars is the most fun. You gotta do the most, you gotta play with the clutch the most, you gotta play with the gas the most, you gotta yeah. Torque is sick, but sometimes it gets boring.
Shit. Y'all can't get mad at B-Haul.
Got both. I have a V8 and a turbo 4-cylinder. Like, they both have their places.
Which one do you enjoy more?
When you're fucking bashing cars with your boys, you want a 4-cylinder turbo.
Good chow. All right, so before we're gonna connect the hoses, we gotta get this thing all mounted up.
What do we mean?
Did someone say?
You need a hose?
I love this. This is a S2000 upper hose, and this is a SR20 upper hose. Mint. This looks so much more complicated than it is, doesn't it?
It does.
We've put so much work in this cooling system. You could do it a lot simpler. We're just trying to make something that like, it's just like kind of a
One and done.
one and done kind of thing. You know, I don't want things all over the place and hoses like rooted and bent and stuff. Whatever. We're gonna wait till we delete the ABS to actually get this thing mounted up because it might be able to put us in a better spot, but it'll land somewhere over here. It's getting a little tight because we are chucking a lot of stuff in here because we have our expansion tank here. I just mounted the reservoir for the power steering system right here. So we're getting really close. The cooling system is officially done. I gotta make water lines that go to the turbo, but those are turbo lines, not coolant lines. So the cooling system, she's done, which is huge. I mean, that's one system off the list. We're trying to knock the systems out one by one. We're getting there. Got to bang in the fuel system, make the exhaust, wire it up. Vroom.
It feels so close.
I know.
It does, but
So much has happened to this car within the past month. That, like I haven't processed anything that's happened to it yet.
that's what happened with you, Austin, too. We did
Yeah.
so much so quick. You're like, what is going on?
You can't even process what's going on.
All the major mocking is done. All the big fabrication, all the major mock up now. Obviously, like the fuel system will be a couple lines. The exhaust will be a major fabrication piece, but that's beyond the engine bay. And then I got to make a wire harness, which is gonna be super fun. But I will do that for you, Jordy.
Why did you say it that way?
He's dreading it. You can
dreading
tell
it.
he is.
I'm just the most impatient person, and you just got to sit there and be patient. Yeah.
It could be worse. At least you don't have to tune it.
Well,
Yeah.
you're gonna tune it, right?
Because he's going to tune it.
Yeah, you took my class, so you should be able to tune it now.
I'm gonna watch the video step by step.
We'll see how that goes. But for now, I'm so pumped. We gotta take this thing out. So next thing on the list, we're gonna take this thing out and we're gonna refresh it. A lot of guys were like, yo, you're gonna just leave it looking like this? No, we just use this for mock-up. So we're gonna pull the engine out and give it a quick birthday. We got all new gaskets, all new seals, all new accessories, some fancy little bits to make this thing look a little bit more of a wow factor. You know, it's cool because it has like that cheap budgeted look together, but like with all the gaskets, all the dress-up parts that we have, it's literally still cheaper than it was to do the timing in the oil pump on a K-Series.
It's kind of crazy how little money is into this, and it looks like there's a lot. If that makes sense.
That's all I'm talking about, baby. That's all I'm talking about. Okay, I'm gonna shut up. You guys know the deal. Like, comment, subscribe. Stay tuned for more content. We'll see you guys very shortly.
Yeah!